So when I was 23 years old, I became unexpectedly pregnant. I was the first of all my friends. So naturally, I freaked out and I worried, like, what am I going to do with this little baby? Because I had already quit my full-time $54,000 a year marketing job to be a full-time blogger. I was posting on YouTube, I was running my blog, and I was making a little bit of money, but I think it might have been like a couple $100s a month from basically just random ads on my blog. And so I had 9 months to figure out how I was going to replace that former income, or else I'd have to put this little baby in daycare. And no shade to daycare, but that was the last thing. I mean, I would have sold plasma or like hawked a limb before I put my baby in daycare, because I was a daycare kid. And again, I know, so triggering. I sound so condescending, but it's not that I judge any mother that puts their child in daycare. It's just that my experience growing up, I did not like it. I watched my mom basically become a full-time nurse providing for our family. And I just desperately, for whatever reason, wanted to be, I mean, for the natural reasons, but I wanted to be with my mom. I wanted to be at home, and she didn't know any other way. So, you know, she's glad that I can live this life now. But living that experience made me never want to separate from my child. And so I was going to kill myself to find a way to make money online so that I can work when my baby napped. Because I had so much pain in my life because of experiences and thinking into the future, like, how am I going to give my child the best life? I actually ended up making more than that within that 9-month time span because of YouTube. Within that 9 months, I made around, it was like a sign from God for me to do this. I made around $55,000, which was crazy because my husband at the time was making around 60. Remember, this was like 9 years ago and we were living in LA. And so that was still really good money, but not enough to live in Los Angeles. And fast forward a year later, we ended up having my husband quit his six-figure a year job in marketing or SEO so that he could work with me on my business. And the reason why we did that is because honestly, at the time, making money with a little baby was truly easy. Specifically, making money on YouTube, if you have just a little infant or even like any child that's 1 year old and under, it is easy because they don't talk, they don't walk. You can work a lot because they sleep a lot. Hindsight's 2020, because when we had our second child, that's when things started to get hairy. Nothing at all is easy with 2 toddlers, especially when the only way you can grow your business is dependent on you, aka me, working more. So me doing this and pursuing this income stream not to be a career mom literally just flew out the window because it ended up like I was becoming my mom. I resented that fact so much, although my mom's my best friend, nothing to do with her and her character and who she is. She's like, you know, my role model for so much of my life. But the way that I couldn't be with her, I resented from my childhood. And so I became desperate to get out of this business model that I once so coveted. The one that I was sure would bring me that laptop lifestyle. So I had to scrap the entire model. My husband and I could never in a million years, after making such easy money on YouTube, right, go back to the 8 to 5 life. So we had to choose a business model that still allowed me to earn, but do so in a way that didn't break my values and was only conducive to what I set out to do, which is work during nap times and when the child or children now are sleeping. So today in this video, I am literally going to detail for you guys exactly how I run my business as a fully present homeschool mom of 4, almost 5 children aged 8 and under, how we're able to scale this 7-figure business with a very lean team of just 4 part-time employees, and how like changing business models has allowed for so much freedom in my life. It allows me to now be the mom that I wanted to be. I work 1 day a week now. I don't have to put my kids on the internet to go viral like I felt like I had to before, or do any sponsors at all. My husband and I are still able to do the business together, and we have multiple different income streams, all leveraging YouTube. And so if you mothers out there or fathers want to stay home or raise your kids and still get paid, let me break down how we do it in our family without nannies, without daycare, or honestly, frankly, school, because we homeschool our kids, and also with extremely limited time. But if you guys are new here, my name is Hayley, and on this channel, I basically teach new and up-and-coming creators and even established creators how to leverage the beast that is YouTube with all of its potential to build a cult-like following, but turn it into a real business by selling your own products. So you're not a slave to an algorithm. You don't have to rely rely on sponsors or views in order to feed your family like I used to. And so if that interests you, subscribe down below, and let's go ahead and talk about the 2 different lifestyles that you get to choose between if you have kids and you're a content creator on YouTube. So the first thing you need to do if you want to stay at home and make money in all the odd little hours that your kids are probably napping, you need to actually analyze your goals. All right. So this is like very basic. Please stay with me because it's not a basic conversation by any stretch of the imagination. The bottom line that I had to learn the hard way is that you cannot plan your channel around 2 different lifestyles. And so if you abdicate really goal setting in this way, you're going to naturally base your channel off of one way of business, which will require you more time than you initially sought out to give to it, which will lead to burnout, aka quitting, which is every other creator on the internet these days, because it's not that it's hard to be a creator and they're tired of creating. It's that they chose the wrong business model as a content creator. So there's 2 questions I should have asked myself. The first question is this: do I want a career outside the home? Now, like I said, I obviously don't want to put my kid in daycare. I'm a psycho homeschool mom that doesn't want to part from my kids. You could say I have trauma. I don't know, like us all, okay? But I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to scale a business as a woman or necessarily working outside the home under certain conditions if you have to or whatever, okay? I'm not judging anyone that wants to do this because I know there are a lot of moms out there that are like, yeah, I would want to turn my YouTube channel into a career. Like, I don't mind having an office. We have had students and we've coached them. They have little kids and they go off and they build massive businesses for themselves. And I'm like, goodbye, sayonara, because it's not my goal, you know? So we let people go where they want. But I would say the majority of people that we specifically work with, obviously they follow me and my husband Doug for a reason. They don't want that, all right? That's why they're listening to me. And so you have to boldly, like I say in my videos, put your stake in the ground and say, I do not want a career outside of my home. Former Hayley, my old self, I should have been telling myself constantly, I'm not building a business to run a career outside the home. I'm not gonna grow my business in a way that doesn't support my lifestyle at home. Because if you don't say these things consciously, you'll just kind of go wherever the money goes on YouTube, all right? More sponsors, you're gonna work more. If you need more views, you're gonna work more, right? If you wanna launch a physical product, you're gonna work more. And all of these things, all of these opportunities, right? Which are amazing. And it's such a blessing. We live in a time like this, but they pull you away from what you sought out to do on your YouTube channel, which is give you more time with your kids, right? So you have to consciously make that decision. And the second question I should have asked myself is, do I want to raise my kids and still earn a real income from home? Now, what is real income? That is very subjective. I said this in another video I filmed earlier today. I don't know when they're going out, but real is subjective, all right? I live in California. A real income to me to not feel, now this is gonna make everyone just roll their eyes back and to the grave, okay? But I'm from California and all my neighbors, I'm almost certain, have a net worth of $1 million, all right? So 7 figures to me is a real income. It's an income where I can help my parents, I can help my in-laws, I can help give to charities. I don't have to stress about where I live. I can live kind of anywhere in the country. Because it is the norm for me. And so a lot of you guys that live in other states, a real income might be just 6 figures. It's all relative, but you have to put a number on it. Because if you don't, you will choose a niche that does not support making your real income number. You will choose a style of videos that does not support making that real income number, right? So you have to analyze your business from all these different directions, and we're gonna go through them. The niche, the income streams, your values, number one, because asking these questions from the get-go change everything about your YouTube strategy. Because if your income plan, which we'll get to in step 2, requires nannies, daycare, putting your kids in school, if you wanna homeschool like us, and you're not willing to do those things, you're going to self-sabotage, you're gonna claim burnout, or you're gonna switch niches. And every time you start something new, take it from me, you start at the bottom, you start over from ground zero. And it's like, and I did this for 10 years. I'm just now figuring out what's best for my family at 33 years old with almost 5 kids because of all of these really hard lessons and just living through pursuing different business ventures and income streams and niches. The second step to your YouTube plan, if you want to make a lot of money with kids at home in a really small amount of time, is you have to analyze your income streams first. I did not realize that every single income stream, which again, it's a amazing that we live in this time, and you should jump on the chance to be a YouTuber as a mom or anybody. I don't like that word YouTuber, but just online business owner, not someone that just makes money in AdSense. Not what I mean. We'll get to that. But basically, you should do it. But at the same time, every single income stream when it comes to being a creator demands a different level of output from you as the mom. Obviously, we all know that sponsors, they can be amazing, but they can add 2 to 3 hours per video just in negotiation and the follow-up. And those emails usually happen after the kids are asleep. And also, everybody says AdSense seems easy, right? You just create content, you post videos, you get paid, but your payout is locked to your niche. So if your niche is small, let's say homeschooling. We have one student, Ashley Buffa. She's amazing. She's homeschooled for 18 years. Never seen anybody more credible as far as like a homeschool mom. But her views, I mean, they could be potentially, I mean, she just had a video that went viral, which is crazy in a super sub niche, but and a super niche like homeschooling. The highest videos that she's had is like 60K. I've done videos in homeschooling. I think the highest one I've gotten is like 50,000 views, right? And so you can only realistically make so much money in AdSense. So instead, I would have you guys look at different creators, okay? Like Rebecca Matsnick. So this is fitness, Farmhouse on Boone. She does like homemaking, or Angela Braniff. So the women that I just mentioned, many of them homeschool their kids. They still work from home. They bring in 6 or some of them 7 figures in earnings being a YouTuber that sells their own products. But their bread and butter is not something, aka their income stream of choice, the one they focus on the most. It's not something that takes them away from their kids. And so they're very selective. So for instance, Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone, she has a massive channel. She's a really big blogger. If you type in sourdough anything on the internet, her blog is ranked #1. She's right now building a farm. Like, she's done so much as a blogger or a content creator. We worked with her a couple years ago, twice in a row. And the second time we were working with her to scale her digital products, which is what we do. And I told her, if you want to make more money, you should just add a tier of coaching. Lisa immediately shot that down, was like, absolutely not. I'm not coaching. At least I don't know if she ever will in the future. But at the time, I really admired her for that, because although she could make probably 6 or 7 figures from adding on just a tier of coaching with her massive audience, it did not align with her values. And just that experience taught me, like, you don't have to chase the rabbit, the thing that is the shiny object syndrome dangling in front of you at all times, because that is the nature of social media. There's so many opportunities with how you can make your money here, there, and everywhere, that you just end up taking the money because you're so scarce that you feel like this is never going to happen again. And so you're excited. But yeah, I really admire creators that understand from the get-go. Lisa's older than me and wiser, and it took me how many more years since she told me that for me to realize that for myself. So you can hit your income goals, but not at the expense of your constraints and your values, because at the end of the day, in my experience and in everyone else that I coach, you'll self-sabotage. So it's all a choice when it comes to pursuing one income stream, which really should be the stream that supports your values, right? And I have a whole video that is either coming up or has been posted. I'll link it down below when it is live, about all the income streams that we have, which ones we prioritize for me to be able to earn this astronomical, in my opinion, amount of money and working 1 day a week. And then between my husband and I, we work part-time hours. So it's insane, like, what's possible, but you just have to restructure your online business. So the third step to doing YouTube full-time with kids and not burning everybody out and yourself included, I did a whole video on this detailing exactly how to do it, how to pick a niche specifically. So I'll link that again and down below. And I'm trying to make videos on everything that would help you guys. So anyways, but in a nutshell, it is pick a niche that supports your life, because you're not just choosing a niche, you're choosing how you spend your time every single week. So for instance, one of our newer students who just went viral teaching people how to grow strawberries, I thought that wouldn't be possible because everyone knows how to grow strawberries on the internet. Nope, Courtney can do it. All right, so this is Courtney from Courtney Grows Food. She's literally out in the garden planting, harvesting, filming, editing, teaching. And so maybe that's right for you. She's obviously someone that wants to be self-sustainable. And so it's a natural extension of her lifestyle. But for other people, that would be too much work. So that is how she's spending her time, is how you create your content. I've learned is how you live your life. So this is Laura from Our Oily House. So she's cooking and prepping beautiful meals for every video. Something I admire about, now these are obviously all former students or current ones, but something I admire about Laura is that she just lives her life and films it. And so that's not always so easy. For me, I'm not doing this when my kids are around. But really, they're in their quiet time rooms right now, so I can film this quick video and they're listening to me. But basically, you can't always make that a reality. You know, if you're really good at bookkeeping and this is what you want to do and you want to make money fast, then you are going to have to not base your whole life around it. For Laura, that's what she wants to do. So everybody has a different type of lifestyle they want to live. And so for me specifically, I've already done the whole film my life. And while that's good for some people, I just started to resent it. I can't keep a clean house to save my life with all these children. And it's just more stress than it was worth. And so I prefer boring. I hope my videos aren't super boring, but just basically more minimalistic talking head videos that I can bang out one time a week. Very minimal B-roll, very light editing, because I don't want to overcomplicate my life. I could make these videos 100 times better and take a whole week for one video, like Mr. Beast says, right? Get millions of views if I kind of like go up in my niche and talk to like a mass amount of people instead of just creators. That wouldn't honor my values, right? AKA the constraints I put within my business to be a good mom that still makes money. And so that's why I've chosen the content system that I have, so that it's sustainable and so that I don't burn out. So once I'm done with this video, to give you guys more of an insight into exactly how I can do this, I film the videos, I send it to my editor, and my editor negotiates everything with my content manager. And I show up in our coaching groups when my kids are having their quiet or nap time, and I get on weekly calls on Friday afternoons. And so that's how I'm able to run this type of business, and we add on an income stream every single year. But you have to understand that it's important to know your constraints and your values, and that content really can run your lifestyle. Remember how you create content, how you live your life, because your audience will get trained. On my first channel, I trained them to expect long vlogs, deep stories, behind the scenes. And then when I switched to talking head videos, unless it was a viral hit, my numbers dropped because that's not what they came for. So be mindful about what you're building and also the audience that you're conditioning. It takes one viral video to condition a mass amount of people. And so you have to be very selective. Do I want to give the whole gauntlet away like Hayley did? You know, do I want to be 100% myself on camera, show everything, the ins and outs of my life? Do I want to be more reserved? Do I want to just go viral with my face, like literally not show any of my life? You have to start doing whatever you want to continue doing from day one. So the fourth step to making a lot of money with kids at home is very simple, okay? And I know you guys are going to know if you followed me on this channel for any amount of time. It is to go all in, laser focus, cutting off any other opportunities. Remember the shiny object disease that I say, the things that dangle in front of your face that you want to grab because they look like easy money. It is to go all in on digital products. I will say, to be real and frank, like digital products is also a shiny object syndrome. And, you know, marketers that teach you how to do this, I'm not daft, okay? Like they're teaching you this for a reason. But you can believe me or not, because I obviously have the proof. I did years of sponsors only and it burnt me out. And that's why I'm over here. And so the reason why I would really encourage mothers to start with digital products first, forget about AdSense, just use that to pay your grocery bill or just don't even look at it. Forget about sponsors, build your funnel in this video up here, and I'll link it down below what a funnel is, how to get people to convert through your videos. But the reason why you do that is because 90% of the income that you make from digital products goes in your bank account. That's how low the overhead is, because it's not physical products, which I've done. And so you make so much of your money versus a sponsor where you take home 0.00001% that the brand gets for obvious reasons. They incur the risk, they provide the product. Digital products are just the easiest thing for mothers to sell because it requires your time up front and you make not passive income. That's lies. Okay. We're not the stock market, but you make semi-passive income for the whole time that you continue to be a content creator, so long as you're ethical, your course is updated, and you can add on coaching like we do if you want to handhold people more. But to give you guys an example, I put up this video years ago. Okay. I only think I had 2 kids. We still make sales from this video because it's ranked in YouTube year after year after year. And if you make a lot of YouTube videos, even if it's just one a week, it could compound to a 7-figure business like we've been able to make that do. And you don't need to go viral. You just need to focus on converting people and ranking YouTube videos, So that is the easiest thing that you can do. Now, when I say easy, it's not easy. There's no such thing as making money online. That is easy. It's all very hard in different ways. Okay. One way that it's hard to make money online is that it's your mindset's messing you up. Okay. Another way is that you're not good on camera. There's like 1,000, like I say, bricks of skills that you have to stack in the wall, and you have to overcome them and you have to get the skills. And so it's not easy, but if you don't quit and if you continue to be laser focused on the one income stream that will make you the most amount of money and give you the most amount of your time back, it will work out in the end if you just continue to get the skill. So step 5 is to use my laundry method for filming, okay? I have learned firsthand that complexity kills consistency. So if you guys are having a hard time as a parent or someone with no time, I don't care who, you could be like not a parent. If you are not consistent in posting one video every single week, it's probably because you're making things harder than they need to be and things are just too complex. And so I have this analogy for you guys, and it's perfect for this video because I'm making it for moms. Now I'm going to sound like a very dirty person. All right. I'm not dirty. It's just, I'm not type A, and I only came from a household where I had one sister 10 years older. Now I have almost 5 kids, and I'm like, how do I manage all these little heathens running around? My son drops his clothes in every room. My daughter changes 3 times a day. Their shoes, I can't find their shoes. Like, it is bananas, okay? And so the biggest sore in my side in being a mom for the last 6 years, like a psycho, is the laundry. So call me dirty, whatever, but there would be laundry piles everywhere, okay? There'd be dirty piles, there'd be clean piles. They would be unfolded. And then I would just say, okay, today's a whole laundry day. Let's clean everything because I'm so behind. This happened, no joke, for 6 years. I could not get a handle. I even hired a laundry service. I tried to become a minimalist, like so hard, until one day, I don't know where I got this magical epiphany from God, but literally it was a sign to change everything because I fixed the whole thing within 10 minutes. So within our laundry area, we got a washer dryer. Every person now has, I promise you're going to learn something for YouTube that will change your life with this analogy. I know I'm long-winded. Every person in our family has a labeled bin. So there's one big bin for Hayley, and then everyone has their name for Doug and my kids' names. And so my 8-year-old, I know I've outsourced it to an 8-year-old, which she likes it. So don't say I'm a mean mom, but she likes doing the laundry, okay? So she gathers the laundry, which isn't much because she does it every single morning throughout the whole house. She switches it from washer to dryer, and she basically takes all of the dryer clothes and just puts them in everyone's bins, and it lives in the laundry area. So we don't put away clothes anymore. We've eliminated steps. There's a point here. We've reduced friction. We've reduced complexity. It no longer has to go from this room to this room to this room. People can't find it. Then you have to fold it. You know, then you're like convincing a 4-year-old to put away his clothes over and over and over. And it's a mess. So there's literally now 3 steps. She gathers the laundry, she switches it, and she sorts it. And if you want to get your laundry, me, my husband, and all my kids, you got to get it yourself and put it away, or you don't have to. You don't have to use a dresser. You can just get dressed in the laundry area. So that is a great analogy for being a content creator. It's when you have a lot of little steps, it makes for you to put things off. I found for me that when I created a video for years, I would just sit on the content piece. I would edit half of it, like a delirious with a newborn, like Monday night. Tuesday, I'd get to the other half. Wednesday, I'd start half of the thumbnail. And then 7 days later, I can't even remember what the video was about, and I'm still sitting on the content. So the filming of the content goes pretty fast. It's the getting it on the freaking internet that was so hard for so long. So my process now is this. Okay, I have it on my refrigerator because it's like I'm trying to emulate this laundry system for all my issues in life. I've only gotten down to this one though. I get ready while the kids eat breakfast 1 day a week. I film during their quiet time. I don't even rewatch my edits. So it goes from, now, not everyone has this luxury, I get it, but I take all the raw footage, send it to the editor. The editor negotiates with our content manager. I do the thumbnails still because I don't trust anybody. And my content manager puts it on the internet. It basically blasts it on social media for me. So all I'm responsible for is the scripting, the filming, and the thumbnail. And I actually do the thumbnail right after I film in a very condensed period of time. My kids don't even really know I'm working. I mean, they can all hear me right now because they're having quiet time, but nothing is being taken from their lives because I'm a working mom or a content creator. Like I used to think I don't want to even work at all because it's taking from my kids. It's just the way that you're working, you know, or how much you're working or what you're working on. And so you have to just reduce steps. So if that means all you do is film the video, chop the video in Descript, which I'll link it down below. We love it. It's like an AI tool. And then you upload it like literally right then. Maybe you watch it once and no B-roll. Okay, we have a lot of students going viral. There's no B-roll. There's no fancy cuts. All the things you think you need, you really just need more content on the internet and more at-bats, like I like to say, because if you're new, then you just need a lot of tries to talk to the camera to be more comfortable. So now we're gonna get to the money-making portion. There's obviously the mindset. We've covered like the content creation output, make it super simple so that you can get it done. But then we're talking about money, all right? So number 6 is you need to sell through systems, not through social, all right? So for years, I was just modeling success like you're told to do as an entrepreneur. So I see a lot of people on Instagram, and that's why I have a bigger Instagram, and I have made a lot of money through Instagram, and it's very lucrative, but again, takes my time, and you can't scale it because you're trading time for dollars versus ranking one video on YouTube with a funnel that converts to your own products, right? I hope you catch my drift now. But selling through social is something that is not conducive for someone that wants to live a restful, peaceful, minimalistic, low stress life, which not everybody's like that. And I'm not even prone to that. I'm kind of like very frantic, as you can tell. So that's just who I am. I'm like high energy. I'm not a slow liver by any stretch of the means, although I'm trying to be. We just got chickens today, so we'll see. But you know, that is my tendency. So I used to jump on whatever bandwagon I saw people making money. But again, whatever you start, it's hard to stop because relying on short form or daily uploads is just another job in disguise. Take it from me. And so this is what I teach inside our core program, YouTubepreneur. I have a whole masterclass about how this works, how we teach like the funnel that we do. And it's down below if you guys want to check it out. It's free. It's an hour and a half. So you got to get a cup of coffee or something. But basically, you do not need to go viral like I thought for years. Dance on, I don't think people are dancing now, but like, you know, basically put up a reel a day like I did and like I used to think, or just amass a giant audience in order to make most real income, like 6 figures or even 7 figures. You need a small cult-like following and a funnel that converts. And so I talk all about that in that masterclass, but it only works if you have the right funnel. And I did a whole video on that as well up here and down below. And basically, if you stack your skills of persuasion and story selling, which is something that I teach in the masterclass, it is automated to run, aka make sales to your digital products while you're pushing your kid at the park, like on a swing, while you're taking off summers like my husband and I did last year. It is like the power of a funnel that converts, not just a funnel, is incredible. So the last step is to basically add one product ladder rung every single year. So what the heck is a product ladder? It's basically a ladder of ascension. So if someone comes in, let's pretend your funnel looks like masterclass, which is just like a free video training. I already sent you there, right? On purpose, duh. And then you sell something, and maybe you sell an ebook. I wouldn't recommend for many reasons, or maybe you sell a course, or maybe the first step to get people to pay you is a membership on school. Like it could be any of these things, a challenge, they all work. I talked about this in another video. I would say that one works better than the other only based off of your values because they're all very lucrative. And so none of them are dead. Courses are not dead like people think. Challenges, memberships, masterclass, like none of them are. It just, are you going to do it and see it through to build the skills? Anyways, and so after you sell people, it is basically just selling them more than one time. And so, but I talk all about this in my funnel video, which I put out last week. But most people think, like I used to, that growing your business, making more money means getting more views, posting more videos, getting more sales. It's selling a lot of people one time. And you can do that. And I did that for the first 3 years of selling digital products, but as you can see, a lot of people are talking about it on the internet, that it burns them out for a reason, because it just means that you're obsessed with views in a different way. So you're obsessed with views for sponsors, and now you're obsessed with views for digital product sales. And so the only way to get out of that trap in general, for, like I say, needing an IV of drugs, aka views, for you to feel like you're alive in your business, is to sell more to the same people over and over and over. So they're in your membership, they're in your elite group, they're in your main course. But you don't do this all at once because nobody wants to be sold new things every single month, at least most people that are on YouTube. It's different for different niches. And also you can't work that much. You most likely don't want to if you're a stay-at-home mom, right? So it sounds overwhelming, but it's just adding on another product in your product suite every single year so that you don't burn out or get overwhelmed. But once you have all of that going for you, okay, you have a consistent way with my laundry system, hopefully, to put out content that isn't overly complex and you don't sit on for 2 or 3 weeks because you can't edit it and get it on the internet. You have a funnel that converts, and I didn't cover this, but an email list that nurtures and grows with your audience, and you sell something. You sell a digital product that people are just chomping at the bit to buy from you because you have influence, you have authority in one niche that supports your values and allows for you to scale. And so if you guys got value from this, go ahead and subscribe down below. Let me know, like, what other content would you like to see from me? Anytime someone says, hey, can you make a video on this? I almost always do, because I want to give you guys value and I want you guys to feel like I'm not holding things back and that I will give the whole gauntlet to you, because I wish I had this type of info 10 years ago. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.